and her ex-husband Kyle were going through a divorce, and Jennifer worked with me at that time. So
Jennifer's your sister?
My sister, yeah, one of them. And so
shout out to Jennifer.
Shout out to Jen. But it was like this mutually agreeable thing. I was like, I need a break. I've always loved Denver, so moved here with like a month's notice.
Okay, so I like it. That's kind of what I did. I packed my car up and I was like, fuck it, we're coming out here.
Same.
One thing I did think I just skipped over, and Chris, I apologize, I think you were leading into this, is how you went from being an actor into the most recognizable face in Baby Toys for Adults.
Baby Toys for Adults that's the
well,
awkward.
I mean, everybody remembers.
Awkward.
Everybody remembers.
That does sound.
That's a very awkward way to phrase that.
Baby Toys for Adults. That sounds a little kinky.
I said recognizable face, so it's not like he's the Gerber baby, which is the most recognizable face.
But
that's not a baby
toy
for
for
phrasing
adults.
was wrong. Fuck, whatever. So how'd you go from being an actor and things like Cats and jazz like that to getting into the baby game?
I'm
going to edit that last part out where y'all made fun of me. By the
No,
way.
you're not.
No, you're not. Leave it in.
You don't know how to edit. So I I got off tour, and I was helping a friend at the time in a costume shop build Barbie doll dresses for a party. Long story. So that was almost done, and then I was kind of like going through my tour savings and running out of money. So I was on the one train from my apartment up in Washington Heights, and it broke down on me for like 45 minutes. So I'm just sitting on the train, and this is way before you had anything you could do. You know, there are no iPods or anything because I'm old, 30. And
yeah, this came well.
There was a Village Voice next to me on the train, and so I picked up the Village Voice to read it. And on the back page, it said "Bye Bye Baby is hiring actors to demonstrate baby products on the weekend." And Bye Bye Baby just happened to be directly across the street from the costume shop I was working in, so it was just kind of like divine, yeah. So I went and interviewed, and then for about a month they called me over and over, and I didn't want to go work there because I was like, that store's awful, it's huge, and I will lose my damn mind.
Is it like, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean by like big? Like it's like a Gap, or is it like
it's a 3-floor baby store. It's the largest one in America. It's huge.
So when you came in to interview, were you in character?
No, it's just like, hey, I need a job. I wore a diaper.
Oh, you wore a huge diaper, like
a big diaper, big diaper. I'm wearing one now.
Nice. That's what happens when you're 30.
Get 30. So I interviewed, and it all went well, and then about a month later, I was like, I really need a job. So I called them back, and I was like, are you still interested? And they're like, sure. So they hired me, and at the time, I was making like $25 an hour just to be like, this is how the stroller works. It comes in 2 parts and 5 colors, and you can do this, and it's cute. And it was on Sex and the City and whatever. So I just got bored. So I learned every stroller, and then every car seat, and every baby carrier, and every high chair, and read everything I could online.
How do you get so bored that you learn every stroller?
Because I was only working 3 days a week, and I felt like I was only talking about Bugaboo when people had questions about other stuff. Bugaboo's a stroller company.
I thought we were just using like
It's also, we're just throwing out Destiny's Child references.
Yeah. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
So that's TLC. But plus.
Sorry.
So, it's like, thank God there's a gay at this table.
We both just I was like, yep, never heard that song. And he was like, yeah, TLC.
But yeah, I don't like, not necessarily I don't like being wrong, but if people had questions about other stuff, I'd want to answer them. So I started doing like mass stroller demos to 50, 60 people at a time on the weekend, several times a day. And then whenever I would leave town to go do a contract of a show, this is way before brands had Facebook. I started to get messages from strangers on Facebook Messenger, and they were like, you helped our friends at the store and they gave us your name. We knew we could find you here. And I would just get lists of questions all day.
So you had a higher engagement in 2004 than we
most
do
people
in
2019.
now.
But it was crazy. And I was like, this is something weird is kind of going on with my survival gig right now, because like, I don't go shopping and look up the retail employees to be like, now can you tell me your thoughts on this and this and this and this? Like
you don't call Chuck from Best Buy and be
exactly.
Like, what do you think of this gimbal?
Yeah, no.
Buy it.
So that
was a reference for the hetero people that watch NBC sitcoms about ninjas. Secret agents, sorry.
Oh, see, I go to Best Buy and I have gimbals. That's all I understand. Fair, look at you.
It was a shitty, great TV show that was canceled way too early.
What show?
Chuck.
Oh, I remember that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he was the secret agent.
Yeah.
He was working at like the Best Buy.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
I thought that was, I was like, how is that lost on everybody?
So I was at Bye Bye for about 5.5 years, and it got very corporate, and so I quit. And I went to a birth education center where you take like your childbirth classes and breastfeeding classes and all that. And I was the only male.
How'd that work out for you?
I was the only male on staff, so it doesn't matter to me, but it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, because like everybody's energy was pretty cool, but what was not cool was the education side. It was the best place you could take classes in New York, like no place better in the city. The lady that was the retail manager was a complete moron and didn't know how to run a retail store. So I went from making a pretty decent amount because at that point I was doing registries at Bye Bye Baby and I could make up my own hours. So I could work 5, 6, 7 days a week if I wanted, living life.
You became the swinging dick of the 3-story largest.
If that's what we want to call it, yes.
That's what we call it.
So did they ever videotape these demos?
Like, can we find
No,
2005?
none of the stuff from inside the store.
That would have
No.
been so great if you had been on the Today Show or something.
No, I've been on Today's Show. You could see me
Dude,
like
wait till we get to his list. So
I've been on Today's Show.
Like
My Martha Stewart clip is online. Like you can see all that.
and he can name drop because these are legit
Yeah.
things that have helped promote his business. And I was going to get to it. I was going to be like, so he's
Okay.
been in some pretty.
Okay, I
gnarly
jumped
public-
ahead there.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. That was a good.
But
good
no,
lead.
that stuff
I didn't
is all
think
that stuff's all kind of it's online. But I was at this birth education place for like a year and they weren't able to pay us. So like I was broke out of my mind, but I was like, I have to stay here working. Something is telling me I have to stay here. So I just kind of pushed through it. So the manager of the education side was like, Jamie, we're going to have to take you down, your pay rate down substantially. So tomorrow morning, when we have the meeting with you, just tell us you can't live on that, and that way you can collect unemployment. Because even as an actor, I'd never had to collect unemployment. I was lucky enough to go job. So
How did the tax? Never mind. Keep going. Sorry.
so that's all a mess. It's all terrible. So with the next morning, I had this meeting in their office, and they're like, we have to take you down to $8 an hour. And mind you, I was already at a point where I was not getting paid for 2 to 3 months at a time. So I was like, nope, can't live on that. Consider this my notice. But then the very next morning, I was in New York Magazine. They do a yearly best of issue, and I was in it as the best baby gear expert in New York City. So it was
That's
just
how you became the baby guru.
kind of. Well, I'd already started like my Twitter account and crap like that because I'd done like those stupid reality shows that never went anywhere. Thank God. They were awful.
You can probably find that.
I have it on DVD.
Fan.
You can't get them online, but I got them on DVD. When you come over, we will watch it. Oh, it is a treat.
No.
Yeah, you're totally 30. You still have a DVD player?
Sure.
Do you have the dual
I have it
DVD
and VHS.
VCR?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, VHS.
Do you have Wayne's World on VHS?
I have it on Blu-ray.
Ooh,
Jesus, he is 30.
remastered
So
edition.
30.
And then there was DVD HD for those that remember that.
Laser discs.
I remember Laserdiscs, and I still have VHS.
I do too. I have Wayne's World.
Good for you. What's it like being not 30?
28's tough, just for our listeners.
Nobody respects you.
Yeah, everyone just thinks
No.
of me as some dumb, drunk idiot.
Wouldn't be incorrect.
It's because I'm 28.
Yeah. So then that led to doing like we said, like Today's Show and Martha Stewart and all this stuff, but I had no money. So I was trying to figure out like how to make a living. So then I started doing speaking events and playing on social media. And that was 9 years ago.
That's how you kind of, not necessarily revolutionized, but you were on the early wave of being able to monetize.
Well,
social
I
media.
I didn't even monetize early. I only started monetizing my social media a few years ago.
So it really
But
became speaking
gigs.
like our boy Bill.
Yes. And so I was doing
Post office, you go in, so post baby gone or whatever, whatever.
store. I was working privately with companies. Like I would go to a stroller's headquarters and train them on all of their competitors in the market and be like, this is how
why you're superior.
all of those strollers work. This is how you need to talk to retail employees about your stroller, compare, contrast with these kind of situation.
Okay.
So I did that for a few brands, but then started doing speaking gigs. And then next week, so that speaking gig that we started in Chicago with my friend Lindsay at Bump Club, it's called Gearapalooza. And next week we have our 100th of those.
Gearapalooza?
Yeah.
So y'all
Baby
started-
gear?
Yeah.
How many folks? Is this kind of like the outdoor expo for Colorado?
No, it's not nearly as big. It's about 100 to 350 people. Attendees, not vendors.
Okay.
No, this is like a small one-night thing. Like, they walk around and look at strollers, and then I talk for an hour and a half and answer questions and give stuff away.
What's the weirdest question you've ever gotten while on stage?
A lot of people have asked me about my personal life, like dating and stuff, which isn't that weird, but sometimes you're just like, still single, thanks.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't have a kid and I'm single. Thanks for rubbing it in, dickhead.
See ya.
Another person just ran into Jamie. I mean, he's recognizable everywhere. All right, so I forgot. We digress. So you went from engagements.
With social media, when I first started playing on it, I was right at the beginning of when brand pages happened on Facebook. So it was just kind of like,
so you only had the
great timing.
You had to have a college email to be on the Facebook.
Up until then, yeah. So
you remember that?
Yeah,
that was
totally.
About your time.
I think
you're older. You're almost 30, and y'all are both older than me.
I think it was like my sophomore year of college or something.
Yeah.
The good old days.
I had friends in MySpace.
MySpace, yeah. I remember the MySpace.
I never did MySpace.
Oh, I did. I loved it. MySpace was high school for me. Like I'm surprised I'm not 30. MySpace was fun because you could like learn to like early code and make the backgrounds and play music and all kinds of crap. It was great.
I do remember like you could go see bands that were like either playing at like the frat house or on campus or things like that, and their MySpace pages would have, again,
where they were.
I'm definitely 30, and you could see like just clips. You could get like full 4-minute clips just like right then and there. Like not everyone had an easily accessible website and like a Google presence, like it wasn't as prominent, but if everybody was already,
well, there also was no Google back then. Let's also just throw that down.
Was there not?
No, there was no Google search. There was Yahoo. There was Ask Jeeves.
I remember Ask Jeeves, and it just turned to
there was the other one. There was some other one that was terrible.
Do you have a Hotmail account?
I did, but back in the day, I
was AOL.
I had my Searcy, Arkansas internet provider account. But,
that's hey, we don't have a demographic there, so you don't have to shout them out. Turns out no one in Bald Knob, Arkansas has been listening to the podcast.
Okay, fair.
Okay, so
what will be this week? Isn't that right?
One thing I want to know is all this baby experience. When you did the Today Show reach out to you and be like, "Hey, Jamie, we want you to come on and talk baby shit"? Or
was it Matt Lauer? Do you have any Matt Lauer stories?
I don't have a Matt Lauer story. Ann Curry was my.
Shout out to Ann.
Ann Curry
she was awesome.
The Asian lady. Yeah, she was good.
Awesome.
What does she do now?
She still works as a journalist independently and does stuff.
But Katie Couric and her were like a team.
Mm-hmm. And they got rid of Ann because of all the Matt Lauer shenanigans that went down.
Yeah.
Because she knew. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that.
Wait, tell me. Are you telling me that we can break?
Did you see the button? Did you see Matt Lauer's button?
No. I did my segment outside, so I was not inside that much.
Was it like in front of the crowd?
With Al Roker out there?
Rock Center.
All right. So, let's talk a little bit more about that. I want to talk about not Matt Lauer, but like being on TV.
It was a toy segment. It was a toy segment for Cyber Monday, and I don't even remember how they got a hold of me, to be honest, but friends of mine own a baby store in Boston. Shout out Magic Beans. But because I was going to be on the Today Show for Cyber Monday, I was in charge of getting like all these toy deals to talk about. So with Magic Beans, I was like, what are y'all going to do? And then they did a discount, and it was like, boom, sold a ton of stuff because it's Today Show that morning.
So I feel like we kind of got you at the right time then. Because you just launched your holiday gift guide just last week, and so a lot of folks that maybe aren't regular listeners are tuning in this week because just like we just did a basic Jamie Grayson search, it'll pop up on the podcast next week. Are you already primed and ready for the holiday season? Like, is shopping begun?
Personally, I don't shop.
No, not personally, but like moms, are you starting to get like DMs blown up, like asking how many DMs do you see in a day?
I don't open them, to be honest.
Okay, so
I turn them all off. I have absolutely no clue.
Damn. Okay. So maybe don't. So how if somebody wanted to like pick your brain, do they have to like
write publicly?
They write on your Facebook page
publicly. Write me publicly on Facebook or Instagram because
you just opened up a shitstorm. Right publicly,
well,
you're telling everybody.
Already.
It's just easier. It's easier. Like I don't have time to go through and do all of it privately, and that way it's like
everybody can see. So they have a similar
if they have the same question, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just too hard when you get like.
So what's the hottest ticket on like Amazon Prime right now for baby?
I don't know, actually. The shopping component is, I don't care.